So wannabe president and former mayor Bloomberg, Michael Bloomberg to be specific, got under fire for Resurfaced comments in which the Democratic presidential candidate says the way to bring down murder rates is to put a lot of cops in minority neighborhoods because that's where all the crime is. Bloomberg made the comments at a 2015 appearance at the Aspen Institute as part of an overall defense of his support for the controversial stop and frisk policing tactic that has been found to disproportionately affect minorities. Take a listen and watch.
95% of your murderers and murder victims fit one MO. You can just take the description, Xerox it, and pass it out to all the cops. They are male, minorities, 15 to 25. That's true in New York, it's true in virtually every city. And that's where the real crime is. You've got to get the guns out of the hands of the people that get killed. So you want to spend the money, put a lot of cops in the street, put those cops where the crime is, which means in minority neighborhoods. So it's one of the unintended consequences is people say, oh my God, you are arresting kids for marijuana, they're all minorities. Yes, that's true. Why? Because we put all the cops in the minority neighborhoods. Yes, that's true. Why do we do it? Because that's where all the crime is. And the way you get the guns out of the kids' hands is to throw them against the wall and frisk them. And then they say, oh, I don't want that, I don't want to get caught, so they don't bring the gun. They still have a gun, but they leave it at home.
So Bloomberg launched his presidential bid late last year with an apology for his support for the policy. So do you think this will affect his future and his chances of getting to the mountaintop?
Yeah, definitely, because that was super duper offensive. And I also feel like as much as some people like to disregard it, most of America is minorities. So maybe not most, but a lot of America is minorities. So I feel like if you obviously say comments like that, it's going to affect a lot of people and they're not going to obviously want to vote for you. Another thing that he said that was like a little strange was his last sentence. He was saying like, they're not like, they still have the guns at home, they just won't bring them outside with them. So it's not even a thing about adding more like gun control and stuff. It's just like telling them not to bring it out with them. So it's kind of like backwards if you ask me. But I don't know, that's a very weird policy.
It is not only a very weird policy, but it's also bringing to the point where it's making me speechless. Because if he does in fact become our president, I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably will do good things, but my other concern for the country is the amount of violence that could happen, because you never know what could happen, because we've dealt with a lot of violence within El Paso, Texas, California, Florida, with Florida, with the nightclub mass shooting.
Okay, so you mean like gun control? And
exactly.
Stuff like that, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm more concerned about. I mean, and also if people who are coming to live in America to get a better opportunity, my also other fear is if they are going to get deported back because of where they came from.
And you feel like that might be more prevalent with the whole stop and frisk thing, or you feel like
both? Even if Bloomberg becomes to be the front runner and wins the presidency in November, and that's what I'm more concerned about. And it's like, I don't know where we go from here, because this is something that where Bloomberg had mixed reviews when he was mayor of New York City. And many of you, it's like even after 9/11 where he did 3 terms.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm not, like I said, once again, I'm like from California, New Jersey, so I have like no idea. So how long was he, a governor basically for, or mayor or whatever?
He was mayor of New York City for 3 terms after 9/11 through, I believe, 2012.
Wow, okay.
If memory serves me correctly. I'll have to check on that later.
It was some pretty difficult years.
But it was some pretty difficult years, basically. But that's basically how it was. And then de Blasio came in to clean up all the mess that he did. And it was like something else where and now de Blasio wanted to choose to run for president, but he dropped out because he didn't have enough. And it was like, and I mentioned it on this show, but even though he wasn't on the show, but he made a big mistake
And what was that?
to run for president.
Oh, I see.
Because it's like, dude, take it easy. Finish with this as mayor of the city first, because we got a lot going on that needs to be fixed and has already been messed up here. All right? Come on. It's something that that has to be taken care of for sure. And it's like, I don't know.
So, what was I gonna say? So, what do you think? Do you think that he's gonna be able to get far in the presidency run, or you don't think it's something that's gonna be likely to happen?
Well, all I could say is time will tell.
Okay.
Because anything can happen at any moment now.
Yeah, because a lot of people didn't think Trump was gonna win, and I mean, you see where he's
Yeah,
at.
and the reason was because something happened where someone or country interfered in the election to get him elected, and with the results were almost as the same as what happened with the election between Bush versus Gore, from
What happened with that?
like
Sorry,
where in a way where Al Gore won the popular vote,
okay.
but Bush won the electoral
electoral.
college, and that was the same thing in 2016
yeah.
with Clinton and you know who, you know. So, and this is another thing that we also have to be mindful of. Let's just try to hope that they don't interfere with the 2020 elections coming up in November, because this is a big moment here. And this is our also moment to get our voices to be heard, so that way we could take action and get what we want to deserve, even as youth. All right? We understand that with youth, it's like they feel voiceless. No, you have a voice.
Yeah,
You
I
have
agree.
a voice.
And I also feel like if you're over the age of 18, obviously you should be voting, registering to vote, and everything like that. Because I
Right.
mean, it's easy. I've done it multiple times, and it was like I always had this belief that it was going to be like this long, drawn out process, and it's just really not. A lot of like, at least in my neighborhood, a lot of like the voting booths were really, really close. Like mine was down the street. My friend's was like 2 blocks away. Like they were convenient. So it's like, if it's something that you're looking into doing, like make sure you get all the details, because it could be easier than like you're assuming it to be, you know?